Good afternoon, everyone. We'll give it till 1:02 as people just starting to jump in to join us on our this month's monthly Q&A for DL. So we'll give about a minute or two. Right at 1:02, we'll get started for today's session. Okay, I guess we can get started here. Yeah, we'll just let everyone started here. Thanks for joining us for this month's monthly DL Q&A session here. This will be our final session for the year. December is always a whirlwind with, year-end wrap-ups and early holiday starts. But we'll make sure we'll reconnect with everyone here and refresh and ready in the new year. Now, moving on with just a bit of a housekeeping notes. Now, this session will be recorded and be shared onto our YouTube channel, along with any of our previous Q&A sessions that you'll find in there as well, too. Now, before we dive into today's agenda, I want to encourage again, once everyone to participate actively in our discussion today. You can ask or provide your feedback by, using the raise hand function to speak, and one of our coordinators will, help you unmute yourself, and then you can ask your questions and go ahead with that, or type in your questions in the Q&A chat section just right above on the top left corner. You'll see a Q&A icon. You can type in your questions there. Okay, now we'll go to our agenda for today. You'll start with a quick overview of the DL portal and the modernization, and we'll discuss its features, benefits, and how it can streamline our process. Now, next up, we'll do a quick recap of the regulation that was released early October. We'll review some of the key points of this regulation. We did have a webinar as well too on that we'll be sharing the link as well if you want to get more in depth of how the regulation was set out for. You can also view that in that sense. Following that, we'll also provide an overview of the new consultation amending our act. We'll outline the proposed changes and explain how you can participate and provide your feedbacks in that. Now, then we'll provide a year-to-date update on our DL projects. And finally, we'll introduce our newly launched Groundwork Pro DL. We have Beth here from our training education team. Will provide you some insights into this new training material. Okay, so in our previous Q&A session, we briefly updated you on the beta launch of our DL portal. While there's still some limitation with some of the new projects that are submitted in the DL portal, we are actively working through them to identify and address any of those errors, issues, or feedback before we fully do the full integration. Now, we're pleased to announce that we are making significant progress and expect the DL portal to be available in the general public in the coming year. Now, what the DL portal represents a significant step forward in modernizing our process here. It will streamline the DL project locates from the public stream, as it is right now with the current standard portal we have, providing better organization and visibility. Now, these improvements are crucial for you guys to have thorough review, validation, and classification. Next, we want to really focus on the workflow improvements of how this, the DL portal represents, right? Our goal here is really to maintain comprehensive data sets. This allows both ourselves and the industry to generate insightful reports that are valuable for our team and yourself as stakeholders, to view and see how the DL programs are running for most of these projects that are, coming across your way. Finally, we want to really discuss the transformation goals where we aim to enhance better collaboration and innovation across the board. This is something that we preach throughout the year. Collaboration is very key to this program finding new innovative ways to get across between stakeholders, get us all working together for, a better future for, deliveries of locates and safety itself. We're integrating the process into a unified digital platform now. So right now it's very manual with the PDF submissions and such, and using the existing web portal. With the new DL portal, this process is really unified to that same digital platform that we have as the standard stream, but now, you do have the access for the DL portion of it to view your projects and such. Well, this will improve the efficiency, adaptability, and also align with all stakeholders involved. Now, some of the additional highlights that, some key highlights that we want to provide just an update since our last discussion here in September. We have one of our 2 pilot projects in the live environment is now an active DL project. So although they haven't submitted if their first initial locates into that project, it is now active in that system as they receive full approval from all the infrastructure owners that are affected within that project. The notice for the 3rd DL project that's coming through is coming very soon in the coming weeks as well too. So we're just working with that project owner, finalizing some of the things on their end before we help them out and do a full submission to the portal. Now for new projects, so yourself as infrastructure owners, we understand you guys wear 2 hats here in some cases. So if there are new projects or you're thinking of submitting a DL projects coming up, in the new year, please contact our team. We can help you out in this and start preparing you for the DL portal as well as a project owner, obviously submitting your project. Now, we'll be setting up as well some dates in the new year for members, for yourself infrastructure owners to sign up for the DL program information sessions. We'll set out, a couple of communications with dates to when we'll host these sessions that you can sign up for. So that will be communicated. Also, we'll look to post that up onto our website so you do have a form of multiple dates that you can, sign up for that. Otherwise, keep an eye out for those manual invites. We are doing some manual invites directly from our team to those who are partaking into this informational sessions for any upcoming projects that we are submitting now. So if you're affected, some of you in this room may have received that informational session already, as you've been affected to the one of the 2 projects that we've put into our DL portal. So keep an eye out if any more further, further projects coming through in that sense. Also, we are looking to update the how-to guides and the best practices. They will be updated in our webpage in the coming weeks. So reach out to our team if you want any of the copies of these documentation. For this, we are updating it to go more in process flow with the new submissions for the DL portal and such. Okay, so moving on to our first topic here. On October 9th, our ministry introduced the new regulation guideline applicable exclusively for designated broadband projects. So the ASIP projects, UBFs, all those that are doing the fiber to home projects, those are the ISPs that are this regulations exclusively for them. We also hosted a webinar to discuss the new regulation and application of it. You can find that recording in our webpage or our YouTube channel. Now, one of my team members here can provide you that link in the chat right now. Now, just going to, once again, the regulation with the specific conditions. So the point form here, we're looking at, excuse me, the project must be in a municipality with a population of less than 100K or in the northern region of Ontario. That's set out onto our act. Also, point 2 there is the project owner and the affected infrastructure owner have not agreed upon a DLSP yet on that project. Now, how does the project owner submit a notification to Ontario One call through this? If there has been no prior notification to us, so if they haven't submitted their initial DL project notice for their project, then they must notify us at least 90 days before the excavation begins that they're looking to opt out and use the standard process. Or their other point there is that if they have been if they provided a notice to us, then they must provide a notification to both ourselves and the affected members that was initially notified with their DL project. So those are the main key points out of this regulation. Once again, if you want to go more in depth and just, to understand the application of it, go through the YouTube link that our team member is providing now. Adam did provided a great webinar for that and just explaining the scenarios and such. And if you have any other questions towards to that, obviously feel free to ask this after this our presentation today, or feel free to contact us. Now, moving on to what next is that on November 20th, we communicated a new ministry consultation regarding the potential legislative changes related to the 100% requirement in the dedicated locator model. Now, our ministry is currently considering amendments to our ACT. These changes aims to establish a new process for selecting a DLSP when a project owner and the utility infrastructure owner cannot reach an agreement. Now, this consultation is a significant step towards improving efficiency and effectiveness of this program, our DL program, and we encourage all stakeholders here to participate and provide their feedbacks on these proposed changes. Once again, one of my team members here will provide you guys the link for this. If you didn't receive the communication, follow the link that's being provided to you on the chat group now. That's where you'll find the details of this this consultation. And then if you scroll down all the way at the bottom of that page, you'll be able to find a section there where you can provide your feedbacks towards this. And I just want to dive in a little bit more, to these proposed changes to the legislation. So a new process will be implemented if there is no agreement on a dedicated locate service provider. Now, the next point here is the utility owners will have 10 business days to request an approval from Ontario One Call to perform their own locates. So it is part of, we're still sending out a notification to all infrastructure owner. If a project owner does submit a notice, so if we're speaking of it now, you receive a notification to Ontario One Call. If we're speaking of the DL portal, you receive automatic notification to, on the project has been submitted under the DL portal where you can review it. Now, OACs will consider several factors in the decision, including safety, safety concerns, specialized infrastructures, mapping limitation, and other prescribed by the ministry. With that, Ontario One Call will have 15 business days to make a decision, and the determination will be final with no rights to appeal. Now, the results of this is that the UIOs are permitted. So just give you guys a bit of, the results of the outcome. So infrastructure owners who are permitted. So after you submit your submission there to Ontario One Call for review, if you are permitted to complete your own locates, then you use your own locators and you're responsible for the associated costs, obviously for your own locating resource and such. If One Call denies the infrastructure owner request, then the infrastructure owner must agree with the project owner and on the DLSP to complete the locates. Okay, now let's discuss the rationale behind this proposal. Now, these changes are aimed to provide greater flexibility and allowing infrastructure owners and project owners to achieve greater efficiencies. Now, keep in mind that this proposal is in its first reading, so these changes are subject to government approval, and there may be earlier changes as well to that, and so it does still require the approvals and a royal assent. If the proposal is passed, Ontario One Call will be sure to provide you guys the industry guidance to ensure smooth implementation. Now going on to an update to our DL locate request and our year-to-date. So what we're looking at here is, our year-to-date data shows a very predictable decline in DL locate requests as we approach towards the end of the year, aligning with, the typical seasonal slowdown. I want to highlight here with the dotted gray lines that we see here is on the graph highlights. It's a similar downward trend in the public stream, confirming the consistency of this pattern. We see this year to year of this pattern where, when we get to the winter season, work really tends to slow down in that case, right? Now, I want to compare towards the last year's to the current trend. We're seeing more stable and less pronounced decrease as we transition into the winter months. When we observe this trends in DL locates, it reflects, the typical seasonal patterns where many construction and outdoor projects winds down as colder weather sets in. Additionally, there's obviously the external factors that we see, such as economic conditions, budget constraints, fecal year-end consideration, where may lead to reduced project initiations, during this time of the year. Now, finally, resource allocation adjustments, where we see a lot of project, and this is what we hear from most project owner. They're relocating most of their resource to prepare for the upcoming year, also contribute fewer locate requests coming up towards the end of the year. Now, understanding this trend help us better prepare for future fluctuation and optimize our resource management strategies. Based on this, what we're seeing a trend is, once we get into the off-peak seasons, January, February, if we get good weather, we see dedicated locator, excel in that point, and that's where you see the gray dotted lines during these time of the season for the past 2 years on January, February, March. It really peaks out beyond, the usage of the public stream. This is where we see a lot of dedicated locator project owners utilize that resource that they have on hand to work all year round, given the weather, gives them, the opportunity to work out there, right? Now, going back again here for the DL project submission, I would like to provide an update of, our DL project submission here. So here's a quick overview of our current status. 42% of our project are on track and progressing as planned. 38 of those projects are nearing the 90-day mark or have just passed it. So these projects are critical and, requires our immediate attention to ensure that they stay on course. But they are staying on course. We're just working away at a few ends of kinks and such to allowing, the DLSP working away with the members finalizing their mapping and such. 20% of those projects has been active recently and, showing promising engagement and progress towards their projects as they're up and running. At the bottom here, I wanted to share you guys as well too is the DL program summary usage that we have. So one of the things you want to look at here at the bottom left is our active projects. There has been significant increase into that. So, specifically from 2023 to 2024, there has been a 41% increase in active project owners. This indicates a growing engagement and interest in DL program. Next beside is a box there, excuse me again, for project submissions. So we have served about, very close right now, 79 to 81 compared to last year. A 3% increase in the DL project submission with, we still have a month remaining. We are still in conversation with several project owners for, submission in preparation for next year. So we anticipate this number to, this could still raise from now till towards the end of year. Once again, if you are thinking to submit a project for the coming, season or year, now is the right time to contact our team to get ahead of that. Get your year started. We'll help you out to position yourself better for 2025. The last box here on the right-hand side, you'll see the project owner. The numbers of project owners has surged, by 73%, reflecting, really large expansion in the community of contributors and stakeholders involved in this program. So we really encourage that. We see a spike out of that, and a lot of project owners, once they experience dedicated locator and they have worked through the initial submissions and are fruitfully using the program, it is giving them the fruitful benefits of dedicated locator, both in the aspect of receiving locates on time whenever they're required, and the safety aspect of that project, ensuring that safety is still the number one priority in that sense. Now, we have some exciting news to share for you from our training education team today. So I'll have Beth introduce this fantastic new program that we believe will be greatly beneficial for all of you guys here. Then also from there, after she provides us this update, then we'll open up the Q&A session. Beth?
All right, thanks, Marco, and the rest of the DL team for the opportunity to speak about this new course that we actually just launched on Tuesday. So when we say that it's new, it is brand new. It's called Groundwork Pro Dedicated Locator, and the course is designed for people who are using or considering using DL for their next large-scale project. And like Groundwork, previously called Plaque, and No Risk, this course is online and interactive, and it's a learn at your own pace. So you don't have to book us, you don't have to book time, whenever works for your schedule. It's available 24/7, 365. We figure it should take around about a half an hour and should help you determine if DL is the right choice for for the project that you're upcoming. It should help you gain confidence about the DL process and what role you might play if you decide that DL is the right choice for your project. We cover the benefits of DL, best uses of DL, plus the submission process in Module 1. Module 2 takes a look at how the system works and talks about dedicated locator IDs, as well as how and when to use them. And lastly, Module 3 focuses on the importance of communication and tips to avoid some common communication channel breakdowns that'll help you collaborate better and give you the best DL experience. You can click the QR code on your screen and that'll take you directly to the sign up page. We do offer a discount for 5 or more registrations at the same time. If that is of interest to you, you can contact us directly at training@ontarioonecall.ca. DL is going to address any questions about the rest of the presentation, but are there any questions that I can address about the course?
Okay, I think you pretty much hammer home the message there, Beth. I'm certain that we'll get some questions in the long run, but I do strongly encourage this. It's a great, module and program regarding dedicated locator. Beth and I have worked out, a workshop previously, and I did, we did on our last Q&A here, we did a brief, preview of our workshop, but we did one to our recent conference. So we're seeing a lot of benefits into giving you guys more education, more practical items to go through in terms of DL. So this is really a good segue for that. So if you are looking as a project owner or even just an infrastructure owner, understanding more of dedicated locator, this is a great opportunity for that. There's a QR code on the left-hand side there. Take a shot of it or give us a shout if you want to get more information. I can surely lead you on to our training and education team for this. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Beth, for that. Next is where we'll just open up the floor now for any questions, feedback, any concerns. Pretty much the floor is open for anything that we provided to you today in terms of our agenda or any questions that you have previously. Leah, go ahead.
Hey, Marco, how's it going?
Not too bad.
I have a couple of questions for you. The first one, you mentioned to expect the portal to be available in the coming year. Do we know, what exactly that looks like? Is that Q1 of next year? Is it Q2?
So right now we are aiming, can't really give the direct timeline, but we're looking at aiming for Q1. So we're just fixing minor tweaks in there. Once again, any newer project that we're looking at now, we're just in coordination with the project owner and submitting that in the portal. But right now it's looking at around Q1 for newer projects coming through. In terms of the existing project, we are still looking into how we can integrate those projects into the new DL portal.
All right, perfect. Yeah, no, that's great. I do just have one more. So you touch on, I know, and this is in regards to the consultation. If it does pass, there would be a new process in place if there is not an agreement on a DLSP. Do we have any idea what that new process would look like? So does it basically give Ontario One Call the authority to greenlight a project without 100% agreement? Or are the details still being worked out?
So the details of it is pretty much what I've shared there, and also on the link on the information chat they provided. That's pretty much what we know of now.
Okay.
I can't really speak of what the final outcome of that and details. Too early for it, but obviously if you do have any feedback towards to how you want to see that towards to, feel free to submit your feedback towards to that. And once it's rolled out, then that's something we will communicate with the group here.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Marco, we just have a little bit of a comment from Sean here. Just said he's really happy to see the changes in the DL process. Great work.
Thanks, Sean, for the comment. We're definitely coming a long way from the Royal Ascent to where we're at now. And each year we're striving away to it. So obviously this platform that we provide to you guys as infrastructure owners provide a great opportunity to get some feedback from your side as well too, to better, the process as we move forward, right? So it is not just us, it's a collaborative work for everyone here. So we really encourage this, continue working with us, continue providing us those feedbacks, to refine this program better and better as we go through it. Any other questions? Feedbacks? Concerns? Yeah, it seems like we have a very quiet crowd. But I would assume that's good that we provide really good information here. Once again, we're gonna skip out the December Q&A. December is really a short month for most of all of us here. Either we're wrapping up year-end stuff, or a lot are taking vacation holidays early to enjoy that. So we want to do the same for this group here, but be assured that we'll come in full force back in the new year in January, with new exciting informations that as we get, and we're looking for a fruitful year for next year. Aside from that, with the regulations, I know there's several projects that have come across. We have received several conversations towards to that. One thing I want to bring out to that is that, with no roll-in enforcement date, we've seen this come around where, submissions of some of the public locates by these ISP that submitted to opt out were prior to the regulation. If it's in the system at that point and they chose to opt out, we just need, encourage the infrastructure owner to work with the project owner with what is already been submitted in the public stream, rather than, having it resubmitted or cancel that request and having it resubmitted after the fact that they've submitted their option to opt out. So, collaboratively, let's just work with those project owners to ensure that we covers our grounds in that sense, to complete the public locates and kind of coordinate that with them. Our team is available if you need any questions regarding to that. And also, I know, several conversations have heard from compliance team to kind of help away tackle these scenarios as well too, based on that. Right. Any other questions around the table? Felt like I gave such a great presentation here. There's no questions or other way around. Also, one thing I want to bring up on the September Q&A, it's a little bit of a struggle, but we did the workshop for the checklist of, obviously the DL program checklist. We went through the first initial stage with, to envision yourself as a project owner. What does it look like to, as a DL checklist to start off your project and what to consider? We had really great feedbacks from that. And, as a team here, or, as participants, we were able to come up with a great checklist on that. As I mentioned in my previous, as I mentioned here with Beth, we had a trade show that we presented a full workshop all the way across, and we received, quite a good response and feedbacks from collaboratively from all different stakeholders through each stage to produce a DL checklist. So, in the coming year and in the next following Q&A we'll have, perhaps we'll touch base on that again to work on, a checklist and kind of line it up. And once we refine that as we go through it, we will share that with the group here. It's just a good segue, once again, to look at each stakeholder. What are some of the things you want to consider to make you success into this DL program, meet your requirements, and then, work along with project owners, DLSPs, and yourself in that sense, especially with new things coming across with this regulation. The possibility of this amendment, we will look into refining that more and more with, getting you guys up and running and ready for any dedicated locator projects that may come along your way. Okay. Doesn't seem like we have any other questions. I don't see anything on the chat. I can give you guys half an hour back. If that's a yay, then give me a thumbs up all the way across. I can continue on trying to come up with some more questions, but I think we established a lot here. Just to wrap up our year here. Oh, Monica, we have a good question there. Thank you. Go ahead, Monica. Oh, was that a question, Monica, or was that a thumbs up? A thumbs up. Okay. Okay, so just wrapping up again. I just wanted to give you guys I do appreciate everyone's time and effort here month to month to have a discussion with us and our team. We have had some great guests throughout the year, and we're looking to get more involvements of more guest speakers around for you guys for educational purposes in that sense, or even just deal related in that sense. So I encourage you guys to continue, keep an eye out for any of these communication we have for webinars. Aside from that, I wish everyone here a happy holidays. Great work, everyone, for this year, and we always look forward to better things coming up in the coming year. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marco. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.